Hello everyone. So here we will try to learn how we can create SD-WAN topology in vManage, which is an emulator. So my plan here is to create a fictitious company, and the company name is going to be VP Corp. Okay, and then basically we will be simulating few sites of this company, right? And then the overall aim is to connect these sites with the use of SD-WAN. Okay, so if I explain you what I have done till now is that there are two models to implement SD-WAN controllers, right? You can place SD-WAN controller in Cisco Cloud, which is a recommended model from Cisco. And the other one is you can spin all these controllers in your own enterprise, right? Or we can say that is on-prem solution. So right now, as I have shown that I have spin up all these controllers in Cisco Cloud, although this is not a Cisco Cloud, this is basically uh, the network which we have built inside Eve NG topology, but it is simulating the same experience that we have in case we spin up all our controllers in Cisco Cloud network, right? So all the SD-WAN controllers like SD, like vManage here, vBond, vSmart, two vSmarts, all will be in Cisco Cloud Network. Then we have two sites here, Site 1 and Site 2. I have mentioned their IDs also, which is 100 and 200. So as you can see here, I have written what should be the IP addressing scheme for this network, right? And this is very good, as you can stop the video to have a look at what numbers I have decided for my sites, what number I have decided for VPN 0, for uh, data centers and all, right? Right now, although we haven't have any data center here, but as you can see that we have only two sites, and the aim for this exercise is going to be that user 1 in site 1 should be able to ping user 2 in site 2 over SD-WAN fabric. So right now we have only internet transport, as you can see, which is represented by this cloud. Although uh, uh, the symbol here is cloud, but actually this is a normal router, just like this WAN router. So I have just changed the symbol from router to a cloud so that it represents your internet, right? And I have created that cloud with simply with simply use of static routes. So as you can see, all of these controllers are connected to a switch, and here we have a single network which is 9.9.9.0, and out of which .11 is given to vManage, .21 is given to vBond, and 31 and 32 is given to vSmarts, right? .1 is my gateway, which is here. And again, uh, and one more thing to notice here is that this gateway is also my NTP server. So it is very, very important that all these controllers and all the devices in my topology, in my network, should have a consistent time, right? And that is why I have made a local NTP server, which is this router, and all of these devices will synchronize their time with this NTP server. This is really going to be important. And to create an NTP, to create a router, to work a router as an NTP server, it is going to need only two commands, and just NTP master and update calendar, and that is it, right? So overall, if I explain you this topology again, we have controllers spin up in the cloud, right? Over a public network, which is 9.9.9.0. We have two different sites of the same organization, with the name of this organization is VP Corp. right? And this organization has two different sites, and the aim of this exercise is that site one, user one, which is having this laptop, should be able to connect site to user two over internet using SD-WAN fabric. Okay. So now this is the time. So now this is the time to configure uh, all of our controllers. So first we will configure vManage, then vBond, vSmart, and vSmart 2, and uh, then we will configure all these devices. And to configure all these devices, we just need to have few commands of routing, static route, and that is it. And then we will make sure that these site one SD-WAN routers or the VH routers will come up. They contact their vBond, they get their unnecessary configuration from vSmart and start making communication with each other. Okay, so let's proceed. Here we will begin first with vManage. Okay, let's open first vManage. It was already open, so no issues. Make it first. Okay, so let's log in into the device, admin, and my password. Now this is a clear and clean machine. It doesn't have anything. So I have come up with the configuration of all these devices in, in a notepad file. So just wait a minute. Let me open that all configuration. So it is going to be very quick. So the idea is to configure system, VPN 0, and management VRF at once. So let's see what system requires. Let me copy the system configuration. Let me paste here. So here you go, configuration mode, and let me paste the configuration. So here you go. So what we have configured as a part of system hostname, which is VP Corp vManage, system IP, site ID, and then SP organization name, then organization name, clock time zone, which is Asia Kolkata, and lastly the address of vBond. Right? Now I need to configure NTP also, so that my time is synchronous with the NTP server. Here you go. At last, I need to configure VPN 0 and 512 management VPNs. So I'm copying the configuration to here. Here you go. So in VPN 0, if you could see, what I've done is I have Ethernet 1 and I have configured IP address over it. And then I allowed necessary services to work, IP route, and lastly, with my management interface IP address. Okay, and I have set the IP route in 512. So here, which is incorrect. No, this is correct, the gateway. So let let me commit the configuration. Okay, it's commit. comment. Let me ping in the default gateway for my VPN 512. So ping VPN. So let's see, ping VPN 512. Let me try to ping my gateway, which is 10.29.203.1, and sure enough, we can ping it. This is good. Let me ping the default gateway in VPN 0, which is 9.9.9.1, and we can ping there also. So let's see whether we are receiving correct time. Show NTP association. And yes, basically the NTP server is reachable, which is my default gateway also, and it is taking time from my default gateway. So if I do a show clock, it should give me correct time. And yes, indeed, the time is correct. So this way my vManage is set. Although I need to configure the certificate um, in these servers, but let me finish all the configuration first, like vSmart, then vBond and vSmart 2. So the next configuration is going to be on the vBond. Okay, so right now I am on vBond, logging in into the vBond. Okay, so it is a freshly booted machine, so I need to give password as admin and set the new password. So I am setting the new password. It is done. Now let me copy. So vBond is nothing but the uh, vEdge machine, right? Which we are making it as a vBond. So here, let me copy the configuration of vBond. First of all, system configuration, which is going to be same, just like we have done in the case of vManage. So here you go. So in system again, you can see host name, system IP, site ID, which is going to be same as then clock and TP server properties, which is done. Now let's configure VPN 0. In VPN 0, I want to communicate all these devices over VPN 0. So paste. Okay, VPN 0 is done. If you can notice here that in VPN 0, what I've done is I have provided IP address to my VPN 0 interface, which is gigi0/0. And I have done no tunnel interface. And the reason here is in the beginning, when the SD-WAN controllers are coming up, vManage tried to log into vBond and configure some of its parameters, right? And that way, basically, it requires netconf and SSH access towards vBond. So although we need to put a tunnel interface here in VPN 0, gigabit 0/0 interface. But right now, to make vBond and vManage communication, we need to disable tunnel interface, right? When you disable tunnel interface, all the services on this interface is allowed. But if you enable the tunnel interface, then you need to enable netconf MS SSD service. So there are two ways. Either you disable tunnel interface or you enable SSHD and netconfig service on tunnel interface. That is it. This is important, guys. Now let's see what we have in VPN 12, VPN 512. I'm copying the configuration, just pasting it here. The configuration for VPN 512. Here you go. It is done. Don't forget to commit your configuration. Commit and quit. Let's do the simple check. First, I want to ping the default gateway in VPN 0, which is 9.9.9.1, which is my default gateway also, right? So ping 9.9.9.1. Yes, and I'm able to ping. Now the second check, which is very important, is to see whether we are getting the time from NTP server or not, right? So show NTP server, not server, so NTP association. And yes, I have the reachability. I am getting the time from NTP server. Let's see what's the time. Here you go. Time is absolutely correct. So we are done with two configuration. We are done with vManage. We are done with vBond. Now it's time to configure vSmart 1 and vSmart 2 of PP Corp organization. So again, I need to reset the default password, which is admin. Now I am resetting it to the new password. It is done. Let me copy the configuration of vSmart 1. First, I want to copy system and NTP. Configuration mode. Here you go. Paste. The configuration is almost similar. We are just providing all the necessary parameters like NTP, hostname, system IP, site ID, organization name, time zone, and vBond. And now let's configure VPN 0 and 512, which is the management VPN. Let me copy the VPN configuration. Okay, all good. So commit the change, commit and quit. Let's try to ping my default gateway, which is 9.9.9. No, sorry, which is 9.9.9.1. Yes, it is pinging. Let's see whether it is getting the time from NTP server. Show NTP associations. Very good. Show clock. Indeed, we are getting the time. So we are done with the vSmart 1 configuration. Let's see what's going on with respect to vSmart 2. We are setting the default password. So if you do not know how basically these controllers and their respective image can be put into eVNG and how you can use them, so there is a very simple process of adding the vBond vManage into eVNG, right? But you just need to download QCOW image from Cisco website. You need to put all those QCOW image into eVNG using WinSCP or any secure copy protocol tool which you have. And once it is done, there are some very basic commands like we need to change the permissions and all into eVNG, and that is it. You are good to go. But if you're not comfortable at all with it, I have another video for this where I have mentioned how you can create these controllers, how you can put these controllers image into eVNG so that you can use it. Right? It is very simple. So let's do the configuration of vSmart 2 now here. Once again, system configuration is here. So let's copy the configuration of vSmart 2. Go to configuration mode. Let's copy the configuration for system and NTP. Here you go. Again, the same thing. NTP parameters and all the necessary parameters. We are good with that. Let's copy the configuration with respect to VPN 0 and VPN 512. So here you go. All good, all done. Commit the configuration. It's good. Let's check the basic connectivity in VPN 0 by pinging the default gateway. ping 9.9.9.1. Yes, we are able to ping. Now let's see whether we are getting the correct time from NTP server. Show NTP associations. Yes, and then show clock. Very good. So till now, what we have done is we have configured all controllers, right? So vManage is done, vBond is done, vSmart is done, and vSmart 2 is done. Now, what we need to do is we will access this vManage over the address configured in the management VRF, which is 10.23.2 10.29.203.245. Okay, so you can write down in your browser https:// and this address. You can get the UI for the vManage. Once we get the UIs, then we will change some of its. Then we will configure some of its parameter like host name, like corporation name, and other things in the UI, because UI doesn't take all these parameters from the configuration which you just have done, right? Once those configuration is done, what we will do is we will install the root certificate uh, of my certificate authority into vManage. Once it is done, what we will do is we will create an identity certificate of vManage. We will sign it using the root CA, and then we will again upload that certificate into vManage. And we need to do the same exercise for vBond, vSmart 1, and vSmart 2. But the good thing is that when I install the root certificate inside vManage, right? And as you know, these guys are able to communicate with each other. The root certificate is immediately pushed to vBond, vSmart, and vSmart 2. So I do not need to go onto these devices and put the root certificate, but I need to put the identity certificate on vBond, vSmart, and vSmart 2. I would highly recommend you to just uh, go to my class where I've explained the certificates, where I have explained what is identity certificate, why do we need this certificates, and what tool I can use like XCA to as a my certificate authority to create all those certificates. Okay, this is kind of a practical video, so I'm not explaining the theoretical concepts here, but if you really want to go into the certificates, I have different videos for the same. So do not worry, just go brush up your concepts on certificates. Just see what I wanted to say there, because I am just gonna implement only those things here. Okay, so let's try to get the console of vManage through my browser. So here is the browser. I'm typing https 10.29.203.245, and sure enough, so right now, as I do not have any whatever the certificate it is showing to me to this browser, it is not able to authenticate that certificate because I do not have root CA for the same. So what I will do is, I understand the risk. I know that this is my vManage because I have configured it. Let's proceed to it. Otherwise, you don't want to do that, because you never know who is stealing the things from you over internet. So the password, username, and password are the same, which I have configured over the CLI. Just give it to that. Username and admin, password is the one which I have set. So here you go. This is your vManage UI. Okay, let's check some of its parameter. Right now, I can see only one vManage is there. No vBond, no vEdges, no vSmart, which is good. It is throwing me an warning that I do not have any certificates, right, installed or invalid certificates. Right now, if you can see what is the version of this vManage. So I am on kind of a latest version, which is 20.3.4. Okay, so this is good. Now let's configure some of the basic parameters. And these parameters will come from administration. You go to this administration and settings. It will give you this page. Now let's change the organization name to the organization name which we have, which is VP Corp. VP Corp. Let's save it. As you can see, vBond is also not configured. Let's edit it. So vBond is 9.9.9.21. This is good again. Now this is saying controller certificate authorization. Now it is saying Cisco, but I do not have anything which can lead me to Cisco and get a root certificate from there. So what I will do is I will create my own certificate authority, right? And then I will sign my identity certificate from that certificate authority. So setting the certificate authority is very simple, and I have a tool which is called XCA for that, right? So right now here we have controller certificate authorization is configured as Cisco, but what I will do is I will edit it and change it to, so here you goes. Right now, as you can see that certificate signing by Cisco is configured, but we are going to create our own root certificate, right? And that's why I will select this option, enterprise root certificate. So that is fine. The setting changes the certificate authority which is used for authentication. Do you want to continue? Of course, yes. So let's select a file here. And which file it is asking for? It is saying that you need to install the root certificate of your certificate authority, right? And for that, I have created this XCA as my root certificate authority. So till now, what I have done is I have created one key pair, which is private and public key pair, and I have named it at VP Corp SD-WAN. Now I have used this keys to create my own certificate, which is the root certificate of this certificate authority, right? So if you go here, this is coming up as VP Corp SD-WAN, which is the root certificate of my certificate authority. Okay, so if you need to create this root certificate, first of all, you need to create the public key and private keys first, and then use these keys to sign a certificate for your own certificate authority, which will be your root certificate. Okay, so if you see the contents of this show details of this root certificate, you will come to know that subject is VP Corp and issuer is also VP Corp. It means that this certificate is signed by my certificate authority, right, to sign its own public key, right? So that means this is the identity certificate for this XCA, or we can say it's a root certificate of this XCA because it contains the public key of the certificate authority, right? So I will use uh, this root certificate to and the keys to sign all other certificate requests which I will generate in future from vManage, vBond, and vSmart. Okay, so first of all, let's export this root certificate so that I can install it into the vManage. So here I click on this VP Corp root certificate, export it, and it is asking for where I need to store it. So I want to store it in, not in CSR. I'll create a root certificate folder, which is already there in VP Corp SD-WAN folder. So here you go. It will save it here, and then I'll do it. Okay. So this root certificate will come here, and it is here. So let's go to our vManage, which is here. Now I'll select my root certificate file, select a file, and root CA, nothing is there. Let's select all files. Okay, my root certificate is here. So these are the contents of root certificate. Make sure you do not enable set CSR properties. Either we can do it, but make sure when you enable, when you make your vEdges come, just put here the name as VIPTEL LLC. Otherwise, your authentication will be failed. So I would suggest that let's do not set the CSR property. CSR is nothing but certificate signing request, right? And we will do it once we upload the root certificate. So right now, as you can see, I have uploaded the root certificate here. Then I'll do import and save. Let's see how much time it is going to take, but I should see that there is, okay, that is uploaded here. As in, if you want to see, you can have a look at it. This is good. Now, vManage Cloud Certificate Authorization, although I can change it to, but this is going to be a long process then. I need to sign the certificate of all the vEdges from my root certificate authority, and I do not want to do that. So what I am choosing here is automated. So vManage will sign all the requests, all the CSR coming from vEdges. It will sign those requests from its own certificate and then send it back, right? So this is going to be automated process, and I do not want to touch it. That is okay. Either means I can select the manual also, but that is going to be too time consuming. And so I have chosen automated for this. Let's save. Apart from that, I do not think I need to set up anything else. So all good. Okay, what next? So next I'll see in devices. I do not have any devices. Let's see. Now I have controllers here, which is vManage. So now till this point, we have installed the root certificate, enterprise root certificate in vManage. Now this is the time to create the identity certificate for my vManage, right? So whenever someone wants to communicate to vManage, vManage needs to present a certificate to that for its authentication. And that certificate we are creating now. So for that, I need to generate a certificate signing request first, but it is not coming up here because we are not in correct section. So we need to go to certificates. We need to go to controllers, and then we are going here and we will generate the CSR. So the CSR request have been generated. Let's download it in the folder. Just wait a minute, guys. Okay, that's fine. Not, yeah, in CSR folder. I want to store it, save it. So closed. So CSR request is here. If you can see here, I have my vManage CSR certificate signing request. So let's sign this certificate signing request with enterprise root certificate. So to do that, let's go to certificate signing request. I need to import this certificate signing request from here. Okay, it is right there. Now I need to sign it. This is the certificate signing request of vManage. Now what I'm doing is I am signing it. Signing it from what? Signing it from my root certificate, this one, VP Corp SD-WAN, and the template is going to be TLS client or server, whatever. But I have chosen TLS client. I am applying all the necessary parameters which has come with this certificate signing request. And what are those parameters? I can go and check here, right? So it is X509 version 3 certificate. Key usage, I will be saying key encipherment, data encipherment, key agreement. So you do not need to select it, because everything, when you apply all the extensions will come here on its own. Okay. So let's do the OK. Successful created the certificate. So where is the certificate? If you go to the certificate, this is the root certificate, and this certificate is signed by my root certificate authority. Okay. So let's export this certificate. And where I need to save it, let's go to, these are the device certificate or identity certificate. So I will store those in device cert, save, and then okay. This is good. So I have created the identity certificate for my vManage. Now it's time to install this identity certificate into vManage. Okay, to do that, select this one, install root certificate, select a file. Which file we need to select? We need to select the device certificate, do this all files, vManage identity certificate. These are the contents of my identity certificate. Let's install it. So it is scheduled for now. Let's see how much time it is going to take. But I would say it should. And one of the most important thing is, guys, while you working with certificates, all your clocks should be in sync, right? This is very, very important. So let's see if there is any error. No, we can see that the certificate is successfully installed, right? So we are good with respect to vManage. We are good. We can go into certificates, and we can go into the controller to see that everything is working fine. Let's go to devices, controller, devices, controllers, and if you can see here, certificate status, it is installed. Okay. Now we need to tell vManage that we have some other controllers in our deployment. And how to tell it? We need to go into devices, right? And then controllers, and we can do a add controller here. Okay. So to add vBond, select vBond here. Just provide the IP address. And the IP address of my vBond is 9.9. Okay, 9.9.9.1. Username admin. I'm giving the password. And I can generate the CSR request from here, but let's not do that. Means it's up to you. But I am pretty comfortable once I upload all the controllers, and then I will do the certificate signing request at once. So let's do that. So failed to add device. What is the problem here? It is saying failed to get SSH session. Okay, let me troubleshoot this issue first, guys, and just give me some time. Okay, so the problem was that I haven't put correct IP address of my vBond 9.9.9. It should be 9.9.9.21. So here it is. Let me add once again. And sure enough, it is added. Now let me add vSmart. vSmart IP address is 9.9.9.20. No, it is 31. Then username is admin. You can consult, you can check my IP addressing scheme. So this is the first vSmart I have, and the IP address for this, it is 31. And the password, I'm putting the password. No, let's not generate CSR now. Add. Okay, so vSmart is also there. Now add another vSmart, which is 9.9.9.32. Username password. Okay, this is good. So all the controllers are here. Now what we need to do is I need to install the certificate in all of these controllers, right? The identity certificate. And to do that, I need to generate the certificate signing request. So I'll go to the certificates, controllers. Let's generate, and you can see that no certificate is installed in now for vBond, vSmart, and both the vSmart. So what we'll do is we will generate the CSR. This is the certificate request for CSR. Let's download it. And yes, let's name it as VP Corp vBond CSR. This is good. Close. This is my first vSmart. So generate CSR, download CSR in the same folder, VP Corp vSmart 1. Good. And the same thing for the second vSmart. Let's copy it. VP Corp vSmart 2. Save. Now we have certificate signing request for everything. Now for all the controllers. Now we need to sign it. And to sign it, let's open our certificate authority. Let's go to certificate signing request, import our certificate signing request, all the certificate signing requests, vSmart 2, vSmart 1, and not the vManage, because we have done this activity for vManage. So vBond, vSmart 2, and vSmart 1, open. Okay, import all. Everything has been imported. Now let's sign it. To sign it, right click, sign, choose the template, choose use this certificate for signing, which is my root certificate of the certificate authority. Apply all extension. Let's see what extensions. Everything is fine. Key usage, everything is good. Okay. Okay, this is signed. Let's do the same exercise for use this certificate for sign, TLS client, apply all extension. Let's see the extension. We are good with this. Okay. So guys, don't forget to go and check my video on certificates, because it is really important to understand what exactly we are doing. And if you do not have that theoretical background of all the certificate, I believe nothing is going to make much sense to you. Okay, so let's sign the last certificate, vSmart, and here you go. Use this certificate for signing and apply all extension. You can see all the extension here, key usage, all done. So all the certificates have been signed, which is good. Now this is time to import these certificates and then upload these certificates into vManage, right? So let's copy first the vBond. Here you go. Export it. Where I want to export? I want to export in device certificates. So here you go. This is vBond. Save. Okay. This is my vSmart. Export in the same folder. Yes, device cert. Okay. And the last one. Import in the same folder. And yes, vBond, vSmart, device cert. Okay. No, not open. It should be import. sure, sorry, it should be export in the same file, and this is going to be okay. So let's see what we have. And if you go to device certificates, we have all of them, but there is a confusion here. Right now, I do not know which one is for vSmart 1 and which one is for vSmart 2. So let's check this number. And so 75E9, let's check in vManage whether it's 1 or 2. Okay. So here you go. 75E9 is basically my vSmart 2. Okay. So 75E9 is renamed as vSmart 2. And of course, then this one is my vSmart 1, right? This is very important because you need to install the same certificate in the same vSmart. Otherwise, it is going to give you error, right? So let's see. We are in the certificate configuration, vManage. Let's install the certificate for vBond first. Let's install the certificate. Okay, let's click here, install certificate, select a file, and we are in device certificate. Very good, which is vBond. Open. All great. Install. Fail to decrypt serial number from certificate, and I know what's the problem is. Okay. So guys, what I have done is I have just sending out the certificate signing request. I do not need to do that. I need to export the actual certificates, right? So I made a mistake here. Sorry for that. So what we need to do is I just go here. I will remove these device certificates from here. Delete, because these are not the actual device certificate. These were only the certificate signing request. Okay. So here you go. Now I am in the right folder, certificates, and now I am exporting vBond certificate first, device cert. Okay. I am exporting vSmart 1, vSmart 2, sorry. Export, okay. And here, export, the same folder. Okay. So if you can see here, I have all the certificates required with me, right? This is good. Now the time is to upload the certificate into vManage for the vBond. So first of all, let's click on vBond, install certificate, select a file, and select a file in device cert. Let's do this all files. Let's select vBond, install. It should install now. So it is scheduled. It takes some time. Let's see at what state it is right now. So install certificate on device. So started by the user. That's fine. So I would say it should be good. And yes, you can see the success. Again, let's go to the certificates. Controllers. This is installed. We could see the certificate serial number also. Now, let's install the certificates for vSmart 1, which starts from UUID E6D. vSmart 1. Okay. Install certificate. Select the file. And all files. E6D. This is my vSmart 1. Okay. And then open. Install. It is again scheduled. So let's see. Now the status is in progress. I would say it is certificate installed. Basically, it is saying here install, and yes, you can see the success. Now, the last certificate, which is for my vSmart 2. Here is my vSmart 2, starting from UUID 75E, right? So here you go, install certificate, select a file, and I would say all files and install. So right now it is in progress, the status, and if I open it, it is saying certificate installed. Okay, we can see the status also. So till this point, if you see, if I go to the devices, controllers, I have all 4 controllers. The certificate status is installed and everything is in sync. I do not have any template. The mode is CLI. All is looking good. So let's go to the main dashboard and see what we have till now. And sure enough, we can see we have two vSmart, we have one vBond, and of course we have one vManage, and the signing for the certificate is gone now, right? There was a warning for the certificate previously that there is a one warning. It was mentioned here, but right now it is gone. So we are good with respect to initial configuration of our controllers. Now, what should be the next step? The next step should be uh, we need to make sure that vEdges comes up, right? And contact their vBond to get the initial configuration and everything from whatever we define as a template, right? So for that, first of all, we need to configure the base configuration of these vEdges. Okay. So if I explain you on the topology, uh, what we have done till now is, okay, let me take my marker. Okay, so we have set it up this vManage, vBond, vSmart, and vSmart 2. All are communicating with each other. All the control connections between them are up and running, right? Because we have configured the necessary certificates here. Everything is here, right? And then these guys can reach to their default gateway, which is VP Corp WAN router, which is having the IP address configured as this one. Now I have configured this internet router also. This is this is the WANs, the site 1 switch. This is the site 2 switch, which is up and running. Here you can see a laptop. Actually, this is again a router. So what I've done is I have changed its image and with laptop, and then I have configured a simple IP address here in site 1 user 1, and the default gateway for this is the site 1 VH1. Similarly, we have configured the default gateway for this site 2 user as this one. So if you revise your theory, whatever we have videos on. So this side is basically service side, right? And this side is your transport, correct? So we haven't done anything in terms of transport. Even this router is not yet on. So what I want to do is I will boot it from scratch once again. We'll show you that what we need to do to make this vEdge up and running. Okay. So for now, if I configure this subnet and IP address on this interface, then this guy will be able to reach to the will be able to reach the vBond and vManage. So the routing I have configured over this internet and VP Corp WAN router. So that is pretty simple. Means if you need the configuration for that, I can provide you. But this is very simple in terms terms of routing, I have just used static routes, and that is it. Okay, so let's clean this board first now, and what I'll do is I will make this router on start, this one start, and let's make a telnet connection to it. Okay, open and secure CRD. Sure enough, it is booting. Let's do the same thing for site 2 VH2. It's again booting. Okay, so my username and password, system is initializing. Please wait to log in. So let's wait for some time so that it can reboot. Sorry, it can be up and running, and then we can. So let me stop. Okay, let's try now. Admin. Okay, again it is saying system initializing. Please wait to log in. So we need to wait somewhat more. So now it is saying system ready. This is good sign. Password is okay. I have given it wrong password, not the default one. So default one is admin. This is bad. Admin. Okay. Now it is asking to set the initial password, which is whatever you would like to give. Okay. So vEdge1 is ready with respect to initial password. Let's do the same for vEdge2, which is site to vEdge1. Admin, and my password. So let's see now what we need to configure on vEdge1. Okay. Again, the same configuration. We need to configure first system settings. Here you go. So host name is this one. System IP is 192.168.1.1, which is in accordance with my IP addressing scheme. Site ID is 100 because this is the first site. So this is 100. Then organization name, then clock time zone, which is Asia Kolkata, and interestingly, not interestingly, vBond is same 9.9.9.21, and TP server is my default gateway. Not the default gateway for this guy, but the default gateway for all the controllers. So I have only one NTP server in my system. So this configuration is good. Now let's see what configuration we need to give at VPN 0 and VPN 512. Let's do a copy and let's do a paste here. In VPN 0, I have given, actually ETH0 is by default the part of VPN 0. So I am just eliminating it so that I can use this ETH0 in my management VRF. So so I have put the description, internet transport, IP address is this one. This is going to be tunnel interface, and that is it, right? Nothing else, and you can see whatever the configuration, and you do not need to give this PM2 and all. Means that is fine if you don't give it. IP route is this one. This is my default gateway for the VH. So it is the IP address configured on the internet side of the link. Okay. And here is my management VPN. I haven't given any IP address to the ETH0. Means I can if I want, but there is no need, as I am not going to manage this from VPN 512. But it is important to give an interface to VPN 512. Okay, so don't forget to commit and continue. This is good. Okay, so now it is time to check whether I'm able to reach to my default gateway, which is 8.8.1.1.1, and it is not reachable. Let's see. Let's see the reason why it is not. So guys, I have done a silly mistake where I put the configuration of site 1 VH1 inside to VH1, and that's why it was not pinging, right? So along the way we will do some mistake, but that is obvious, and we do such mistakes uh, in real environment also, but try to uh, but this happens, right? So don't worry. So what I have done is in site2 vh2, I have rolled back the configuration using rollback selective command, where you can choose uh, exactly where do you want to restore the configuration to. Okay, so this is a good feature of VHs. But right now, let's configure the VH once again. Okay, so first of all, we need to configure system and NTP parameters, which are here. And right now I have seen that I am on correct router site 1 VH1 conf3, and here you go. All is good with respect to NTP and system. Now we need to give configuration on VPN 0 and VPN 512. So copy, and here you go. It's okay. This is looking good. Commit and quit. Nice. Let's do some basic check now. So ping 8.1.1.1 should be pingable, and sure enough, let's ping our vManage, which is ping 9.9.9.9.11, and we could ping it. Let's ping our vBond, which is 21, and yes, we can. Both of our vSmart should also be pingable from here, and yes, it is. 32. Let's try to ping our NTP server, which should be pingable anyhow, because we are able to reach the 9.9.9.0/32 .0/24 network. So, but let's ping it 9.9.9.1. This is our NTP server, and yes, we are able to ping it. Let's see, are we able to get the correct time from the NTP server? So show NTP associations. Yes, we are. Basically, we are getting the time. Let's see the clock now. Okay. Let's see the clock now. And indeed, it is showing the correct time. So we are good till this point. Let's configure now site2 VH1. Conf3. Let's copy the configuration of site2 VH1. Paste. We are good. NTP and system configuration. Just have a look at all the parameters which I have given. So copy the for VPN 0 and VPN 512. It's good. Commit and quit. Okay, now let's test some basics. Ping my default gateway 8.2.1.1. I am able to ping the NTP server 9.9.9.1. Yes, it is. And then vManage. Sure. vBond. It is pingable. vSmart 1. Yes, it is. And then vSmart 2. Great. So till now, what we have done, if I show you on this topology, so we are done with the configuration of VH1, Site 1 VH1 and Site 2 VH1. It is able to reach to all the controllers to NTP server and from here also. So we are good till this point. Now let's try to install the certificates on VH1 and VH2.